Last time on Square Roots, Sonic has a problem, Amy has a boyfriend, and Tails has an airplane. Later, Matt discovers that this game is a roguelike. Oh, sorry, that should read, Matt discovers that this game has a rogue me likey homina homina honk honk.
Isn't it Rouge?
Isn't it Rouge?
Oh no.
Meow, 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 meow. Hello, and welcome to Square. Nope, that was bad. Hello, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Van Zant, joined this week by Johnny Troll and all the boys, Brandon.
Why does maple syrup get everywhere, Matt?
I don't know. I don't use it anymore because, well, A, that much sugar is bad for me. But also, B, it's garbage. Delicious garbage.
It's not garbage. What are you going to eat?
And
Mrs. Butterworth?
Joined this week by a special guest, Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm the special guest, and I'm here to talk about how I think that sometimes jam is superior to maple syrup. If you're making a pancake or a waffle, why not put a little jam on that? It's flavorful, it's fruitiful, and it gives you natural sugars. I guess maple syrup has natural sugars too, if you're using pure Canadian maple syrup. But if you're not in Canada, you're probably using a corn syrup amalgamation, and that's bad.
I'm pretty sure they make
real
maple syrup in Vermont as well.
Yeah, they do.
Also,
it's the same trees. As Trump says, it's just an imaginary line anyway, so why should he respect it?
Oh,
yeah,
I'm really excited for just the nudge.
Nope.
You know?
Nope.
We're just going to nudge it up a little bit.
This week, we are not joined by our good friend and your usual host, Jim. Listeners, I apologize. He unfortunately has terrible diarrhea. Yes,
I
Vanessa.
thought he was on a date with Owen.
Do we want to dox that?
No, okay, fine.
Dox it? We want to release it out in the
Jim
world?
is available for dates to listeners.
Listen, Owen's a member of the
Cut that.
$10,000 a month tier, which does qualify you to one date per year with a host of your choice.
Did you have something to say, Vanessa, before Johnny started doxing people? You were doing a timeout sign, which is not a sign we typically use on this show, but...
Did I?
Get your fingers out of your nose. You were doing this.
I wasn't doing
this.
a timeout sign. I was putting lotion on my hands, and I think it
puts
wound
the
up with
lotion
me.
on its hands.
I do put the lotion on my hands, and I did it because I saw what I thought was Johnny putting lotion on his hands, but turns out he was just rubbing maple syrup all over his hands.
No, I've got a little wet wipe here, and I was just trying to get the maple syrup off my hands.
So, Vanessa, there's something that we've been
said.
meaning to talk to you about since we have you here.
Yeah.
Since you missed the majority of the last season, we have decided to put you back on probation, like in the Secret of Mana series. So you will be referred to as a special guest for the rest of this season. And we'll decide when it's over whether we wish to invite you back or not.
You know, I like it because I do have a crippling fear of commitment, and it helps me mentally to think of this as a temporary project as we come up on our 10th year.
It can't have been 10 years. I don't believe it.
No, it hasn't been.
Anyway, here at Square Roots, we play your favorite RPGs one chunker at a time. And right now we're playing what I'm sure is all of your favorite RPG. That's right. Sonic Chronicles, the Dark Brother... What? The Dark Brotherhood? What is this? What has happened?
I think this is the game that gets a lot of people into JRPGs. It's like a gateway JRPG.
I think what's happened is that we've been doing this for allegedly almost 10 years, and we've played all the good games, and now we're down to the dregs.
We're out of game.
We're out of games.
We played them all.
Well, that was what we set out to do. We set out to catch them all, and we caught them all. Except we never played any Pokemon games.
Oh, yeah. I'm still like kind of Pokécurious. Everyone says it doesn't have a plot, but this game doesn't have a plot either, so.
I say we go for it. This year, the year of Pokemon.
Yeah,
All right.
we do it.
Well, before we dive into our main segment, the Sonic Chronicles is what we'll be calling it this season. Before we dive into the Sonic Chronicles, we're going to discuss a little bit of hot gaming news.
Oh, I forgot to look it up. Let me look it up.
Yeah. Hey, I've got bad news. There's not much.
Oh, I have some great hot gaming news.
Lay it on me, sister.
So, there has been a partial cast announcement for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Ooh.
I will stand in as host. I will stand in for Jim during this part of the discussion. That game is never coming out. I never have to pay you $10.
And for by cast announcement, I mean a list of the names of some characters. Get ready to meet Pandora Greaves, Verona Delancey,
Ooh.
Dale Beecher, Mr. Lemon, Guru, Carla, Reggie, Marigold, Shelby, and of course, Officer Wheeler, a police officer with memory issues.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a list of characters from a game that will never be released.
Pandora seems like a strong candidate to become a ghoul.
Okay. All right, well, I have some hot gaming news. Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Is that the name of it? Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Yes, it is. Echoes of an Elusive Age was delisted on the Nintendo Switch.
Why?
Gasp. But
Why?
after being delisted for a month, has finally been relisted and at a new $40 price point. Whoa.
What was it at before? Was it
Probably
a full-priced game?
60. One would
60
assume
to
so. It was
70?
it's a 100-hour full-ass RPG.
Huh.
I don't
So,
know that I would want to play that on the Switch because it is a good-looking game.
It looks great on Switch. Like, really
why
good.
it happened?
Yeah.
Why be listed and delisted and come back? Why?
I don't know, Vanessa.
Why it happened?
don't-
Why it happened, Johnny?
I
Why it
don't-
happened, Matt?
No.
What I read is that they did some updates to the game while it was delisted. Now, why they would delist it to do updates, I don't know.
It must have been heckin' broken, don't you think?
No. It was supposed to. I mean, that version of the game is the best reviewed version of the game.
Why? This makes no sense. I know what happened. I bet they found out it was accidentally woke and they had to take the woke out.
It did feature a pretty, if not out gay character, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Wow. Like
So
a
There
do you
you
think
go.
they ungayed?
characters. Like more than one. Remember the Dave?
According to the announcement, when it was delisted, the devs would make minor updates to the game's listing during that time, which many interpreted as a switch in publisher, which that actually has happened with a couple of other things lately. What was it? It was a Triangle Strategy, I think, did the same thing recently, and I think it's because Square wants to be able to drop the price more frequently than Nintendo allows for games that are published by Nintendo.
Oh.
Oh, yes, this does say that they recently did this with Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy.
Stringle.
Yep. Now, that game is super long, but boy, I'd like to do that one on the show because it's very good. Now, it's a little weird. I don't know if Vanessa knows the history of Dragon Quest XI and its weirdness.
No.
It's interesting because it's got a 2D and a 3D version, and you can switch between them whenever you want. It's per chapter,
fun.
though. Yeah. So you can play it like an old-timey Dragon Quest or like a new-timey Dragon Quest.
I've never played a Dragon Quest.
It was initially released, I think, with just the classic soundtrack. Is that right? And then when they released the like expanded edition, they added in the instrumental soundtrack, which is gorgeous and amazing, and will get stuck in your head like a fucking Persona game. Is that right, Johnny?
Oh, but the music in Dragon Quest XI sucks.
No, it's fucking
Hot
fantastic.
Take.
No, it's bad.
Oh, an argument.
No, it's very good.
All right.
Podcast Civil War.
But you played. Why is it bad? Tell me why it's bad.
Well, okay. The version I played had the worst version. It didn't have the orchestral version. It had this like shitty MIDI, but I just don't like the soundtrack to 11 at all.
Isn't it basically the same soundtrack every time?
No, there's new. Like the battle themes are different, town themes different. There's a whole bunch of different stuff.
I find it very interesting that you're like, I played the version with the bad sound.
The
sound is bad, and I
So
know better than you,
maybe
Matt. Who played the version with the good sound.
Whole version, I would like it better. I have a news for you.
Yes, please. Go
the
ahead.
The best PlayStation Plus monthly games. Very much worth it if you want to just get like a temporary... I guess you need to keep it to play it. But Dragon Age Veilguard, Sonic Colors, and the Cowabunga Collection, which is a fantastic collection of old TMNT games. But most importantly, Dragon Age the Veilguard just came out like 4 months ago, and now
it doesn't sound like it's been selling that well, gang. I don't think it did very well.
I played the whole thing, and it is fine. It, I think, struggles a little bit in the beginning and the second act, but if you can stick through to the third act, it gets pretty fun.
I want to play it, and I was going to buy it, but now I guess I don't have... I'm probably still going to buy the PC version. Don't worry, BioWare, I'm not abandoning you. I'm sorry it took me so long to buy it. It's just I'm trying to not spend as much money on games.
We're all trying not to spend as much money on anything.
Why would you buy it now when you can get it for free?
Well,
you already pay for PlayStation.
Many different platforms.
I also want it on PC because I'd rather play games on my PC.
Because he's obsessed with ray tracing. He's
yeah,
like,
I love
my ray tracing.
Rage racing.
I gotta have my rays.
All right, I've got some hot gaming news.
Sure.
All right.
So I don't know if y'all have heard about this. Warner Brothers Games has been shut down.
Is this about like they made a game and it was super popular and good?
Suicide Squad?
And they were like, no, it was something else. And then everyone was like, this is great. They definitely won't shut down the studio now that they made something really popular and good. And then they shut down the studio.
Right, no, that
I
was
don't know what you're talking
Marvel.
about. Warner Brothers Games is shutting down, and
the Rivals.
Oh, that was also wasn't that also like overblown? Like somebody got laid off.
I think it was like it was part of the U.S. team that worked on it, not the Chinese team.
I don't know. Anywho, so since WB Games is being shut down, they have canceled the upcoming Wonder Woman game.
Wonder Woman.
She
is coming for you, and the crazy things you do with her leather vest and her shiny breast. I don't know what else to do. Wonder Woman. Yeah. They can't believe they canceled that, and they exploded Monolith Software, who has been making crazy good games for like 30 years. Like,
name one.
No One Lives Forever.
Name another one.
Never heard of it.
Fear.
Never heard of it.
Singularity. Oh no, that was Rage.
Never heard of it.
Okay, so they did. Certainly Fear, Fear 2, Blood, No One Lives Forever 1 and 2, and Shadow of Mordor with the Nemesis system. And this means like because they patented that Nemesis system, no one's gonna get to use it now until.
I think I read that it is held up for quite some time.
Is it a good system, though?
Yes,
are people
it's really
lamenting that they can't use it?
Well, you liked it, didn't you, Matt? The whole, like, orcs that remember you and, like, change and...
Yeah, that was a neat, smart system. Like, your enemies would come back, like, mobs would come back and, like,
learn from how you defeated them last time. They'd be like, you set fire to me last time, so now I'm afraid of fire, but I'm also gonna avoid it. And yeah, it was really smart.
Yes. Now, that game I didn't love, and I did not like its sequel at all, but that's okay. I have some hot gaming news. This is maybe a little older, but we haven't discussed it on the show, so I thought I would bring it up. Hello, did you know that just a few days ago, a new trailer came out for Pokemon Legends Z through A?
No.
Whoa. Z through A, I believe, is going to be a continuation of the Pokemon X and Y games, and is going to be set in France, whatever the fuck it's called.
France? Does that mean that, like, every Pokemon in the game is going to be Mr. Mime?
Yeah, probably.
Ah, bonjour. Welcome to my hometown, Paris. Gay Paris.
Ah, hey, Mr. Mime.
I hope they put more work into making the game good this time. Although some people like that last one. I don't play them. I don't really care.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder if it's a franchise that sort of just lives off its name at this point.
And they keep making the same game because they're trying to attract they're interesting because they're aimed at new kids wanting to learn RPGs. They do not like I think Arceus is the first one that's kind of at, well, if you're older and want to play them, here's the new version. But mostly they've been like, no, we're not going to stop making little games for little kids because that's our thing. But also,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I think just technically the last one wasn't up to like Nintendo's usual standards of making really cool, good looking, good running games.
Oh, really? Scarlet and Violet?
Yeah. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not an expert on Pokemon.
Somebody in my home wants that for their birthday soon.
Oh, well, I'm sure they'll still have fun with it. Like, it's still a decent game, but just not.
He was talking about himself, Johnny.
Oh, it was
He's
already
dropping
his birthday.
hints. Oh, yeah. He's going to have to wait a long time. It is interesting because I think we're very used to franchises growing with the audience at this point, you know? Like, Marvel is for adults now, and DC's for adults now, and Pokemon is still just kind of for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon and Sesame Street.
I'm kind of glad. I think, like, that's sort of what Pal World was doing, too, and it's not for me. You don't have... Not every kid thing has to be a grown-up thing. We can do new grown-up things aimed at adults, like Severance.
If you want grown-up Pokemon, I highly recommend that little, like, not claymation, but, like, felt animation Netflix series that they did. That was, like, 4 episodes or something.
Yeah,
I never watched it.
I don't remember what that was called.
It was fantastic. I forget what it's called as well. And it dealt with a lot of adult themes, like being frustrated with your performance at work.
Like Severance. That's a current
Like
theme in
Severance.
Severance.
We're not talking about Severance.
Have I been using paper clips wrong this whole time, Vanessa?
Yes.
Oh.
You know, take it to your personal chat, where the people that haven't watched the show aren't listening. That's all
I don't think that was a big spoiler, Matt.
Felt like a big spoiler.
That's what everybody says about every spoiler, and then it's like, oh.
Oh, well, you told me there was a montage, and there was.
That's true, I did. But that's only because I was being accused by Jim of not having actually watched it, and I had to say something.
Yeah.
Did you, though? Does it matter what Jim accuses you of?
No. If I spent my time, like, countering what Jim accused me of, I would never have time to do anything else during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, a new Terminator game got announced.
All those murders. Oh, a Terminator game.
Side-scrolling game, Terminator 2D, no fate.
Oh, yuck. Oh, side-scroller. No, thank you.
What?
I
did
don't
you ever
like
play that
side-scrollers.
Bethesda Terminator game, like the one that they made before Elder Scrolls, that was sort of like Elder Scrolls?
How could it be like Elder Scrolls? What are you talking
It
about?
was like a big open world. Well, there's a couple. I think two of them. One was set in L.A., so a big open world L.A. with like terrible polygon graphics, and then the next one was like just I think in the future, like post-apocalyptic landscape. Go watch a YouTube video. They're pretty cool looking, but they're very I think it was 1991, 92 graphics.
You know what? I will go watch a YouTube video, but it's not going to be about that.
Wow. But you were curious how Bethesda can make a Elder Scrolls game in the Terminator universe, and then you don't care.
Well, I feel like I got sufficient information from you.
Okay. It was pretty neat. But anyway, yeah, I think we should move on. Matt, are you going to stream this week?
Yes, we have taken the last couple of weeks off because Jim has had to be out of town for work, and so we have not had a chance to stream in 2 whole weeks. But
wow,
we will be back this week, the week that this episode is released, to continue our Kingdom Hearts 2 stream, and I am looking forward to that. You can join us every Wednesday, I mean, other than the last 2 weeks. Where we stream. Right now, Jim is streaming Kingdom Hearts 2, and up next, Johnny will be streaming a game called Snatcher. Find us over on YouTube. Search for Square Roots Podcast.
Jim says he bought Snatcher. I don't believe him because that game's like $500 if you want to buy it. I think he was lying.
Yeah, but Jim's rich. He's loaded AF.
That's not our business. And I don't want to dox him. Unlike Matt, who lives in Clearview, Florida.
Yeah, Clearview, Florida. That's where I live.
Clearview,
with all the
Florida.
astrotologists.
Yes. All right. So,
yeah, if you ever want to find Jim, just look at any golf club or country club, USA.
Especially those kind of country clubs, if you know what I mean.
If you really want to find Jim these days, you're going to have to look in the White House, hanging out with his good buddy, J.D. Vance.
I think it's
That's right. I decided to go with J.D. Vance instead of Donald Trump because I kind of, as much as Trump is the worst thing on the planet, J.D. Vance is just like kind of more pathetic, and I thought that was a better.
I didn't realize until this week he's a debate me guy. And now he makes sense. He's a debate me guy. Who just also the reason that he's defending all these weirdly growing white supremacists is because he likes freedom of speech, and that's why he's focusing on all this. That's all. What a fucking piece of shit.
Debate me so I can spew a bunch of nonsense and lies so fast that you can't possibly keep up with it. And then you have to spend your whole time trying to correct me while I just pile on lie after lie after lie.
No, then
and the
like,
dipshits in this country fall for it.
You never even thanked us for everything we did.
Hey, I have some great personal news that I would like to share with the group. Everybody, hold on to your hats. This is a tough one. You're going to be really excited for me. Who's the biggest celebrity that this show collectively is a fan of? That's right, Andrew Tate. Guess who just moved to Tampa, Florida?
Oh, boy. Don't try to drunkenly start a fight with him, Matt.
I would love it if he would come on the podcast. Like, I just think he's probably a gamer, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he's a cool guy. He can hang. He could come on the show and maybe talk about, like, I mean, what I'd really like to do is maybe like collab with him to launch a meme coin.
Oh, that's a great idea. And you're not going to rug pull. Definitely not 100%. There will be no rug pull.
No, in fact, it's going to be so opposite. I'm going to be like rug installing. I'm going to install wall to wall carpet on this coin.
Mm-hmm. Also, I put out a surprise new video. I wanted to try something different and see how it did before I do my Saints Row one, which I'm dreading, but I think just the Simpsons one took so much out of me, but I can do it. I can streamline it. I don't have to be as
Nobody's
crazy.
making you do this, Johnny.
I know, but I'm making me do it, Matt. I'm making me do it. At any rate, so Saints Row, next video, but this video is about what if you play PS3 games on an old TV And they run different because PS3 games can have different display modes and they different performance and stuff. And looking at that and how they work and if it works and can you read the text, which is a big question. The answer is
Oh, that is a big
sometimes.
one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I believe that series is called PS3 4x3.
You did try to go
In
for
the
a
future,
Geo.
people will be like, he did it, he did it, he did the thing.
Yeah,
When
they'll
that's
know.
the most popular video on the internet, you know?
Yeah. The biggest series, there's Mr. Beast, and then there's PS3 4x3. I also, Matt, you saw a clip of Enchanted Arms. Do you see why I want to play Enchanted Arms on the show?
I don't think I saw a clip of Enchanted Arms. Where did I see that?
It was in that video.
Was it in the video?
Yeah. The really gay, the twink talking about making a sandwich for the boy he loves.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
It's very gay.
Is it? I don't know how serious you're being.
No, it is. It is very gay. Like, explicitly gay in a way that's really fun. Not explicit in the sense of seeing, like, D's and B's and stuff.
Aww.
Bees?
But, well, what would you want to call them?
Bees? Now, do you mean
Bees and-
balls or butts?
Oh, I guess either. They're both bees. Anyway.
Bees,
Not
bees,
the
and D's.
Anyway, so watch that video, and I'm going to work on the script for Saints Row 2022, a game that I finished a year and a half ago, and I have all the footage ready. And Jim and I played a little bit online, and that was very fun. Vanessa said, "Congratulations on! I'm proud of you for doing whatever this is," and then left the chat. Anyway, so that's it. How about we either level up or talk about the game? Which do you want to do, Matt?
Wow, I didn't realize it was a choice now.
I missed that. What did he say?
Do you want
He
to
said,
level
do you
up?
want
Or...
to do the level up or do you want to do the quest log?
Obviously, I want to do the quest log.
All right, then let's open up the codex and look at the entry for Chapter 3, which had a name and I forgot it.
Segment of the show is called the Sonic Chronicles.
I think this is like in the trail of the Eggman or something. And Sonic the Chronicles?
That sounds gross. I don't want to be in the trail of an Eggman.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like the treasure trail, like Eggman's treasure trail.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like a pointy mustache. You might be like, oh, that's a big guy. And like, yeah, but a pointy mustache. That's a kind of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, he'll jab you with it.
The mustache and not the fact that he is literally round.
Yeah, you know what? Don't body shame the guys I like.
Okay, but the guys you like are like look like humans and not like balls with stick figures legs.
How dare you?
Johnny's dream man is a perfect sphere. We
Yeah,
all know this.
That's not true. They look like
We just rotate
Zangief
you around.
or Rufus. I put so much Zangief and Rufus in this video.
I did. Yeah, there was a lot of Zangief and Rufus. Rufus is a lot.
I
Rufus
love
is a
Rufus.
lot. Get behind your love of Zangief, Rufus.
I love that he's also distasteful. Like his character's meant to be super annoying because he's just Japanese people making fun of Americans. Is the whole point of that character. And then there's Mega Man, who is built like the video game character who looks most like me. Is that game's version of Mega Man?
Yeah, well,
Short-
it's Mega Man from the original box art Mega Man, not
yeah. But he's
Anime
also
Mega Man.
short. I didn't realize that until playing it in the 4x3 mode, because it sort of okay. It's not part
Don't
of the video.
yawn
and I'm
while
just
we're talking about Mega Man.
in the 4x3 version of the fighting games that Capcom did in the 2000s and early 2010s. If you play it on an old TV, it sort of looks like the characters were sized like the original games, like Street Fighter 2. It's really cool and something you don't see if you play it on a 69 monitor. I think it works better. I think they look better as little sprite size guys instead of like if you play it on a 61i TV, the characters
Yeah,
are
they're
huge.
big.
Yeah.
They're huge. I mean, I remember that
Excuse me.
from when
I'm sorry,
Street
I
Fighter
have to
4
go
came out.
answer the door. One moment. Yes, I did order a locker. Thank you. Come on.
Oh no!
Oh no, it's time for the Sonicals!
Wow, Vanessa's still shopping with Amazon, huh?
It's so convenient.
Where else am I supposed to buy my ebooks? Fucking
Yeah,
Apple?
I know.
Ugh.
A lot of Canadians are like, you should really boycott Amazon. I'm like, oh, but it's so convenient.
Use that Canadian ingenuity and make a
Cananazon.
Canadian
Cananazon.
Cananazon.
What's a densely forested region of your country?
Vancouver Island is on.
That's not what I meant. Oh
What's
my
a
God.
river in Canada?
Yeah, what's
The
a river in
Yukon
Canada?
is on. Oh, the
You
Fraser's on.
just call it the Yukon. You don't have to
Yeah,
put Zon on
Fraser.
the back.
Fraser.
Zon is not a necessary part of it.
The St.
Yukon.com.
Lawrence River is on.
Oh boy. This has
Anyway.
already gotten out of hand.
So we are looking for Eggman because Tails I think Tails just figured out that there was signs of Eggman everywhere, like old Eggman robots and stuff, and they're like, we need to find where Eggman is because he's still alive. He's not dead, and he's making new robots. Oh, what's up? with
Well,
that?
that's not what they say. You're already fucking it up. They
All right,
are
well,
looking
you
to
tell
see,
me.
they want to find out if Eggman is alive because they found some old robots that are active, but they do point out that they're like old school Eggman robots, not new robots. So they're not sure if he's alive or dead, but they're going to go look for him
Why would they think he was dead?
because he was in a giant like airplane that Sonic blew up and then jumped off of.
Yeah,
and
they
the
didn't
airplane
find
crashed.
the body. Though.
Yeah. I guess
Which I
it was
think
not
they
an
should've.
airplane, right? It was more like a
It's
what would
like
you call that?
a flying carrier, like a big. You know.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of every Avengers movie, they fight on one of those, and then it blows up. And
yeah. What do they
crashes.
call them? Helicarriers. It's like a
Yeah.
It was on a helicarrier,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then the helicarrier blew up, and Eggman was on it, so they think he's dead.
yeah.
Was Sonic aware of what he was doing when he did this? Like, did he know
We don't
that,
know.
like,
Are you saying did Sonic murder Eggman on purpose? Or
that's what
tried
I'm
to?
asking.
I think so. He didn't try to rescue him, did he? He's fast. He could have.
Well, we don't know the circumstances. The thing was blowing up.
Shadow has a gun, Vanessa.
That's true.
Okay, but
don't-
Shadow's not like a good guy, really. He's like,
Yeah.
he's an anti-hero.
So, when we got out of the Mystic Ruins after saving Knuckles, who is now part of our team, we see the Angel Island has been snatched. Oh, it's missing. It's no longer above Mystic Ruins. Yes, Matt.
I felt like I'm sorry.
What's an Angel Island?
It's a part of the Sonic world, Matt,
Right.
and it's floating.
I felt that I was missing a lot of sort of prerequisite lore.
I said this
like,
in the
"Oh."
last episode, like, is this a continuation of another game? And it doesn't seem like it is, but it does presuppose that you know
Yes.
all of this Sonic shit.
100%. Yes. I mean, I'm just kind of gleaning it. It's some floating island, Vanessa. That's all I can tell you.
I think that Angel Island is where the Master Emerald is housed.
Okay.
And as we all know, Knuckles is the protector of the Master Emerald.
Right. We were in that last time, and that what Emerald do is make Sonic a Super Saiyan.
It like most powerful thing. It like Infinity Crystal. You know, like those Infinity Gems.
Yeah, I know about those.
It's just like the Infinity Gems. Oh, I don't know if like one has.
Nobody
power
has
control
ever
time
accused the Sonic the Hedgehog series of being original.
just because it came out right around the same time as the Infinity War. Didn't it? I think. I don't know. Anyway.
I'm going to say that Infinity Quest came out before Sonic the Hedgehog. In fact, it must have. The Infinity
That's
Quest
like a 70s
comic
thing,
books.
right?
Yeah, for 80s, I think.
Okay. It
Could
has
be
that
70s. I'm not great on that.
What's the name?
It's-
Jim Lee? Who's the guy who like did all the super trippy? Because it has that 70s trippy look.
No. Jim
stuff?
Starlin, maybe? Jim
I don't know.
Starlin did do a lot of the Thanos stuff. Jim Lee was a big 90s comic artist.
Oh, okay. Who's the guy who did like Adam the Warlock and Silver Surfer and all that? It's like it seems out of the same era as Silver Surfer. And Thanos' really 70s looking glove. That is
Oh, are
a
you thinking
disco
of
glove.
Kirby? Of
yes,
Jack Kirby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this has
He did
real
the New
Jack
Gods
Kirby.
and all the... Yeah, I mean, Jack Kirby kind of did everything. He
Mm-hmm.
kind of created the Marvel Universe.
Anyway,
no, it's
Thanos
not the
in
Infinity
Marvel
Quest.
vs.
What is it
Capcom
called?
3 was thick.
Oh, it is Infinity War. I'm dumb, and you guys shouldn't talk to me because I'm stupid,
Okay.
and I don't know things.
Okay.
Pretend like I know things, but then I don't know things. Infinity Gauntlet was the book. That's what it is.
Okay.
It came out in 1991, actually. But I think that the Infinity
Yeah, so did
Stones
Sonic.
had been banging around the Marvel Universe for at least several years.
Maybe they
I
stole from
don't-
Sonic.
Well, here's the thing, and this is going to sound crazy. I don't think that Marvel is the first property to do let's get some magic stones.
Good point. Marvel did not create the MacGuffin
Okay.
Yeah.
and then make
The
that
MacGuffin was created by Maltese Falcon.
Oh. What about
You
the
know,
McMuffin? Who created that?
Don't think that's true either.
The
A
MacGuffin
genius.
was created by Birdie, the
Oh.
least celebrated, but perhaps most creative of the McDonald's characters.
I watched the episode where Birdie hatched. Not the episode, the commercial on 80s Commercial Vault where Birdie hatched in like 1980. That's when McDonald's was super HR puffin stuff, kind of like, you know, that 70s crazy drug kid show thing with like the big monster suits. It was very much that.
The Infinity Gems did first appear in the 70s.
Okay, yeah, they seem pretty 70s. They're very disco and like far out, dude. Anyway, so Angel Island is, I assume, what Matt said. Base where keep Master Chaos Emerald. And now we find Tails has a Eggman detector. And it keeps showing us like objects, but the objects are like people just have random bits of the fortress that exploded. Like a kid has a little bit of the fortress, and
I think it's just, I don't think they have bits of the fortress. I think they just have like bits of Eggman tech.
oh, okay. The kid's like, look at this cool thing I'm using. And then Tails is like, I can use this to help figure out where Eggman is. And then you
Look
gotta...
at this sweet laser gun I found.
Now we need to talk about some chows, because we all did some chow hunting.
Chow,
Chow
chow.
down.
Chow, chow, chow. Do you guys want me to regale you with the tale of my brilliant acquiring of the chow that automatically does the special moves for you so that I can finally fucking use Tails? You son of a bitch, Tails!
Well, yes, because we all did it. So how did it work?
How did it work? Here's what I did. I saved the game, and then I opened up an egg, and when it wasn't the one I wanted, I turned off the DS, and then I did it again. And I did that about 30 times, and eventually, I got the chow I wanted.
How did you figure out that this was a thing you could do?
I tested it, and it worked.
No, I mean, like, what even inspired you to
I gotcha.
look for
So I was at the
chow?
end of the 4th chapter that we're going to cover here in this episode, and I had collected all of the eggs, and I had my last one in my inventory, and I was like, if I don't pull this chow, I'm going to throw my DS into the sun. Fuck this game. I hate it so much. I hate specifically Tails' moves and Cream's moves. All right, let me put it like this. I tried so hard to get Tails and Cheese's moves off. I tried to get them off.
so
I tried to pull them
to get
off
Tails
over and
Cheese's
over again.
moves off.
I tried to
But
get
in the
Cream's
end,
off.
I had to
tried
get
to
a
get
chow
Tails
for
off.
it.
Pulling off tails all day.
I was becoming livid over the fact that I simply cannot nail Tails
Can nail
moves
tails.
or Cream's moves. I want to nail Cream's moves and I want to nail Tails moves. And I couldn't do it. It was really making me mad. And the frustrating thing is that I can get that. We talked about this last week, listeners. If you're not playing along, the special moves, you have to do random tap or slide or various things with the stylus. And Tails's and Cream's moves involve drawing a line on the screen. And it's so fucking finicky that I don't know, it's just impossible for me to do. I cannot do it. This is a game for children. I cannot do it.
Tails is the only one. Everyone else is almost all the time. Like maybe I'll screw up.
I can even do the line with Sonic's axe kick, but I can't do it with Tails or Cream. And I just want to do it with Tails and Cream.
Tails is
lock me up and throw away the key.
No,
I just want to do it with Tails and Cream.
I had no problem with. I found like Cream was an easier Tails, so I just. Let's speak. So Cream, we met her last chunker.
Oh, hang on, I'm not done. So I had just saved the game. I opened up my little Chow loot box, and I did not get the thing I wanted, and I was furious about it because there is a Chow that you can equip to your characters that will auto-complete their moves, and we have been talking about it, and we all really want it, and we are not getting it. And I remembered, I just saved the game. What if I just turn my DS off and turn it back on and reload my save? Will it give me a different Chow? The answer to that question is that yes, it will. And as I said, I did that about 30 times in a row. And it only took me like 45 minutes until I did eventually get Ferox, or whatever his name is, the very special Chow boy of my dreams and my heart. And I equipped him to Tails, and I'm happy to say I get Tails off all the time. I pull him off, pull his moves off constantly.
Yeah.
I thought it was more that he just pulls off himself. Like he
does it, yeah.
Just does it by himself.
Honestly,
I guess that's a good point.
As a lazy lover, isn't that what you always wanted for her? For them to just kind of have done it without you really doing anything? Perfect.
I have to admit, now that I've used it a little bit, like it's less satisfying when Tails gets himself off, you know?
Gets his moves off, you mean?
Yeah, gets his moves off. Anyway, that's how I did it, and then I shared my strategy with the group, and everybody else did it because they're all a bunch of fucking copycats.
I still haven't got the get a rare Chow.
So you had to get the rare Chow the natural way.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't. I tried so hard to lose it all, but in the end,
that.
It didn't
even matter.
Yeah.
Even that, I still pulled a lot of common Chows, so it's not perfect. It doesn't always pull a rare Chow if you have that Chow. Anyway, Johnny, you were saying, yes, we picked up Cream last week. Cream is
I think you can't get her till this week because you need...
you need Knuckles.
Knuckles to get.
You're right.
Cookies cheese. You need to find cheese.
Yes, cream cheese. So I did get Cream. I thought maybe her moves would be, because Tails has a heal and like a restore mana and a stun move, and Cream has a lot of similar moves. In fact, she also has a revive and antidote move. But just like with Tails,
are mostly taps, not as many lines, so they're a lot easier. I
found her a lot easier. Though.
They're all lines.
Yeah, she does. Lines. All these Sonic characters are doing lines, and I just feel like they shouldn't be. They're kids.
Now Cream gets yourself off every time.
I love.
She's a child.
Cream is my favorite. I love Cream. She's the cutest. She has the biggest flopsy wopsiest ears. She has a teeny little button nose, and I think she's great.
I think her moves are better. She has a group heal. And a revive and an antidote, which are really handy. But Tails has got a couple of stun moves, and those are also really handy on bosses. You know how when you're trying to hit a boss and you miss them over and over again, or you only hit them for one hit point for some reason, like 100 times in a row, and it's the most infuriating thing on the planet. Use Tails to stun them, and suddenly that's not a problem.
So now you have 3 zones to look now you have Cream in your party, and yeah, she's an alternate. If you don't like Tails, you can kind of replace Tails with that, or you can have two. If you want two support characters, you could do that.
Yep.
You know,
She flies like Tails does too, so she really does just
yeah.
perfectly swap
I think in terms of
Tails.
maximizing your movement powers, you probably want either Tails or Cream.
Yeah,
Cream.
I do Tails, Amy, Knuckles.
Well, let's not spoil any
Tails, Amy,
upcoming
Knuckles.
characters.
Okay, well, those are all characters that we have. So Tails, Amy, Knuckles.
I'm just being
anyway,
I'm just being silly.
Shadow's there too, and he's got a gun. And he points right at your face, and he's like, "I'll kill you."
Shadow's not here yet. You just spoiled it.
Well, no,
I
he's
didn't.
there.
He
like
is.
if you go
it's
to
literally in the notes, it says Shadow is there, and he's a bad boy. But now
he's
you can find
in the
cheese.
Mystic Ruins. He's got a bit of Robotnik technology, Eggman technology, and he won't give it to you, and he won't say what he's doing the first time you meet him.
Yeah. Why is he so mean? What's
Yeah,
Shadow's
what's his
deal?
He doesn't trust anyone except for one person. That we'll get to next time.
But what's his deal?
Yeah, what's his deal?
Don't know.
We don't mean in the context of the game.
I've never. Oh, what?
We just mean it in the context of the overall series.
I don't know, Matt. I've never really played Sonic Adventures or
I
Shadow
assume
the
that
Hedgehog.
he's like a Negasonic, right?
Shadow the Hedgehog was created by Professor Robotnik through genetic engineering.
Uh-huh.
Wow, he's a real cloud.
He sucks.
Well, Shadow and Maria, his creation was part of an experiment meant to cure his granddaughter, I assume that means Dr. Robotnik's granddaughter, Maria, from a deadly illness. While Shadow and Maria formed a strong bond, the United Federation government and a military organization, the Guardian Units of Nations, GUN, deemed him a threat. GUN, okay, let me just do a quick aside. GUN sounds like a military unit that our current president would create.
Yes.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Totally is.
GUN deemed him a threat. GUN raided the space colony Ark on which Maria and Shadow lived, killing the former. Whoa! What the fuck, GUN?
They killed Maria?
What?
Killing the former as she sent Shadow to Earth in an escape pod. Shadow was later discovered by GUN and placed in suspended animation. Maria's death traumatized Shadow. Now I understand why he's an asshole. Okay.
This is terrible. Poor Shadow.
Oh, so this was created by Professor Gerald Robotnik, which is Dr. Eggman's grandfather.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So Shadow's a winter soldier.
Yes.
They put him in suspended animation. He was there forever. And then he came out and he's like, I'm the Sonic. And Sonic's like, you're not the Sonic, I'm the Sonic. Shadow probably was confused. How did they make Shadow from Sonic if Shadow was born before Sonic?
I don't know.
Was he made from Sonic, or is that just an assumption I'm making?
I think that's an assumption that you're making. I think you're just assuming that because they're both hedgehogs, they look the same, right, Vanessa?
Uh-huh.
And they're different colors, man.
So they must be related. All hedgehogs know each other, according
All
to
hedgehogs
Vanessa.
are related, man. I will say that. That's the thing. Yeah.
That's 100% true. True.
It's
Two?
100% too.
100% too. Just like all Europeans are related. Did you know that every person of European ancestry who's alive today was related to Charlemagne?
Johnny, why do you say all hedgehogs are related?
Because they have to mate with each other, so they need genetic compatibility.
Okay, but by that logic, all humans are related.
I just told you they are.
They are. I mean, they are.
I mean, yes, all humans are related, but as far as I've seen, the earliest or most recent focal point they can find is 1000 BC in Europe. That if you have an ancestor that was alive in Europe in 1000 BC, then you're probably related to everyone who was alive in 1000 BC.
Ooh, hot.
Because of how genetic works.
None of us were alive in
Including
1000
Charlemagne.
BC.
Yeah, I wasn't alive in 1000 DC.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, now we know why Shadow is a dick. Moving on.
Yeah. Anyway, so now we've got a few more pieces, and eventually we find just enough pieces that we can figure out how to get there. We found this shield in the mountains in Green Hill Zone, and it's protecting a Robotnik base, probably. But you need to make sure you get all the pieces before you go back there, and then finally you can disable this shield. Also, but before that, I talked to everyone in your base. Now your base is sort of like your camp in Avowed or in Dragon Age, where everyone has thing to say to you. And sometimes, like if you talk to Big the Cat, a loyalty quest for you to start.
What?
A loyalty. Well, I don't know if it's a capital L. It's definitely he gives you a quest to find a frog. His frog friend, Nathan Norman. Did you do this, Vanessa?
I missed this. No.
I talked to some frogs, but none of them were Norman.
Norman is there. You can find Norman. And
Norman
this
Osborn?
quest
Green
makes
Goblin?
me very worried for Big the Cat. It gives me questions like, does Big the Cat have a caretaker? Is Big the Cat getting the help he needs, or is he on his own?
He's a kitty. Of course he has a caretaker.
I hope so, because he's not well.
He has some nice old lady who takes care of him.
He's like, you meet a frog, he's like, oh, this isn't Norman, and I've been looking for you everywhere. Oh, this isn't Norman. This is Mrs. Havisham. How are you doing, Mrs. Havisham?
I get it, because, and I'm going to get in trouble because I already said something about hedgehogs. All frogs look alike. There, I said it.
That's not true at all.
But he knows
Does
the
Queen
difference
of Quinn look like every other frog, Vanessa?
She's not a frog. She eats
Queen of Quinn's
frogs.
not a frog. Yeah.
So
because you are what you eat.
Does Master Croak from Super Mario Brothers RPG look like every other frog? Was that his name?
I don't know. But
Old
you
frog
eventually
with the mess.
find his froggy friend, and he's very happy. I just hope that someone's helping him get the care he needs, because he is obviously not fully there.
It's worth pointing out that this mission, this chapter, is very short. You basically just walk around the places you've already visited and run into people. I do like that this area introduces the first mission where somebody needs help being escorted somewhere, and so you put them in your pocket.
Oh,
take them
yeah,
home.
you do. Well, he wants to go back to the city. Is that that's the little kid you find? And
No, oh wait, yes, it is. You're right. It's the kid in this one.
Yeah, a little kid you find, you take him back to the central city. Because he was he'd found a cool cave that was going to be his hideout, but then it attracted monsters, I think. Oh, no, was it those mechanical hedgehog things that heal themselves? Those things were jerks.
What mechanical hedgehogs?
Or mechanical caterpillars? Like the orange things. They're from the games. They're from the first Sonic game. They have like spikes on them. I think they're supposed to be like caterpillars or something. They roll up into little
I don't
balls.
remember.
Armadillos. They're mecha armadillos. That's what they are.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do remember the armadillo.
And they
The
heal if you don't
robo-armadillo.
kill all of them. They heal themselves. They're a little annoying. And did you finish
that happens a lot in this game, and I want to say that I think that it is the robots do it a lot, but so do like the slugs
basilisk
or the caterpillars.
things? Yeah.
And I think that it's a case of like the game, them realizing that the game is like badly balanced and maybe everything was a bit too easy because, excuse me, because you choose. I don't know how this is supposed to work, but basically like you choose your attacks and whatnot, and then your characters do attack like 6 times a piece every turn. And I don't know why that is. Why is that?
I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's cool.
But I think that they realized maybe that they had made this game a little too easy and tried to like hotfix it by going in and being like, these ones bring themselves back to life if you don't kill their friends. These ones regenerate half their health every turn. It's bullshit is what I'm saying. It's trash. It's garbage. I hate it.
So, did you do the quest where you help a crazy scientist because he keeps being attacked by animals, and he's figured out that these projectors are making the animals crazy, and each time you blow up a projector, a bird comes and hits you.
Yeah. We talked about that a bit last week. Those fucking birds. Later on, they're a lot easier, but here in this first area, when you're weaker, they fucking hit hard. They hit for like 50 or 60 damage apiece. And at this point, you have like 80 health. They can one-shot some of your characters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that was my addition. You know, either add something yourself or move on. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but if we keep just going into silence, I'm turning on PUBG. I don't know what to say
John's
here.
reading something. He's busy.
I know.
I'll take over the quest log. Okay.
Yeah, do it. Jane's got to flirt with boys or something.
No, I'm not flirting with boys. I just was trying to figure something out. But it's all good.
So we gather up all 4 of these Robotnik finders.
Mm-hmm.
And we triangulate them, or I guess quadrillate them, to figure out that Robotnik is behind this force field in the middle of the Emerald Zone. We can get it down with our little devices, and we go on in there, and we're like, "Hey, Robotnik, where the heck is you?" And then here comes the most irritating fight in the game. It's 3 robots.
Mm-hmm. 3 robots at once is kind of tricky because you got to kill all 3 robots same turn.
You gotta kill all 3 robots same turn because if one of them is still alive, the other 2 will revive with 50 hit points apiece. Also, during this fight, like all of my attacks started just doing 1 damage.
So fucking annoying.
Matt, you really struggled with this one, right?
I mean, I got through it in my first turn, but it was really, really frustrating. My first try, not my first turn.
Yeah,
but I did think I was going to have to. I did think I was going to have to take it and die and just do it again because I was getting my ass kicked. And they keep coming back to life. They keep. Suddenly, you just only do 1 damage for some reason. Somebody explain that to me. Somebody explain anything to me about this game.
Well, I think sometimes they're guarding, and then you gotta wait till they do their next action.
That's the big boys. That's the big refrigerator looking ones. These don't do that.
Okay.
No. But I have noticed that if they like miss an attack on you, then suddenly you can hit them again. Or if you stun them or a couple like other stuff, like you can hit them with powerful like power attacks, and that'll help sometimes. But yeah, sometimes you just get stuck, and it's like I can only do 1 damage for 3 turns in a row.
It's nice
6
finally
attacks
getting
each turn.
Tails' robot thing to work because that's pretty useful. The robot stun. So you blow up these robots, and Robotnik's like, "Hey, look, they had nothing to do with."
Yeah, he comes running out, and he's like, "Oh, hey, it's me."
They like weren't even real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm a good guy. I love the things you like peace and love. I've reformed. I've learned the error of my ways. And I'm a good guy now. And I realized this game, I was like, oh, wait, are they going to do a Mario RPG? And of course they're going to do a Mario RPG. Of course they are.
Yeah.
I was stupid. I didn't think this would be a possibility.
I didn't think they would either. It's not the same relationship that Mario and Bowser have. You know, Mario and Bowser play tennis together and fucking go-kart.
Well, so does
Sonic and Eggman fucking hate each other.
Sonic
left Eggman to die.
In Sega All-Stars Tennis, I believe you can play as Eggman, and in the Sonic kart racing game, I'm pretty sure you can also play Eggman.
Yeah, but like the Mario people, they're performers, right? Like that's their deal. Mm-hmm. They're just pretending. Mm-hmm. But Robotnik is a real man. He's a real man with real ambitions to eat the hedgehog or whatever he's trying to do. Do you remember in the Smurfs how sometimes Gargamel wanted to eat the Smurfs and sometimes he wanted to turn them into gold?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, actually. One of the most confusing aspects of one of the most confusing shows ever made. Second only to the fucking Snorks. What was going on there? Were they fucking each other in those antennae? I think they were.
I mean, yeah, obviously. They have one orifice, Matt. And it's
that's how Snorks mate. Antenna to antenna.
Didn't they have? I thought they had a like a Cubert style horn nose, didn't they?
The Snorks?
Yeah, I don't remember the Snorks.
I don't think the Snorks had any noses.
Oh.
Yep, no nose on a Snork.
Let's look at a Snork. I remember the show, but I don't remember what they look like. Snorks.
Come along with
What
the
the
Snorks.
fuck? That is not what I thought they were.
Swim along
What
with
the hell?
Snorks.
But their antenna has a hole. That's what I was thinking of. But
Yep.
this is like a bad Smurfs ripoff, huh? It was
Snorks is one of those shows
Hanna-Barbera.
that would. Snorks is one of those shows that would come on like on Saturday mornings, and I would, when I was like young, I would sit through like angrily watching it, hating it the whole time, just hoping that the next cartoon would be better. You know?
Yeah. Me
Maybe
too.
we'll
Could
get some
swim
X-Men after this if
underwater.
I sit through this
Where
terrible
would you
Snorks
go?
show.
If you had friends underwater, who would you know? Come on.
Oh, this does look like a
swim
French
along
comic,
too.
and I guess it is
Yeah.
a French thing. Like there was some French because it has like a Smurfs. Obviously, I think they're Belgian though. Smurfs, I think, are Belgian, but Snorks French.
I feel like the Snorks are to the Smurfs as the Fraggles were to the Muppets.
No,
So just so
That's
that we're
the
all
same
on the same
creator.
page, you heard it here first. Smurfs are Belgian. Snorks are French,
Yeah.
obviously.
well, Smurfs are Belgian. It's Hergé or whatever his name was that made, or I can't remember the name. There's a French
What are you
guy or
talking
Belgian guy that made the Smurfs. Like it's based on a comic strip series.
Oh, I never knew that. It
Yeah.
was created by the artist Peyo.
Peyo, that's it. Hergé is Tintin.
Hergé was Tintin, right? Was it Hergé? I always thought it was
Yeah.
Hergé. Hergé was Tintin. I fucking loved Tintin.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go to the library and check out Tintin books.
Bruh, I still got stacks and stacks of Tintin somewhere around here.
Oh,
My
shit.
first
I bought the
boyfriend
first one.
was crazy for Tintin.
I bought the first one several years ago in the hopes that one of my children would pick it up, but they never did.
Some of them are pretty racist.
Well,
Yep.
shit happens. What do you want?
mean, yeah.
70s.
Yeah,
Not
it's
even
like
70s. Those
50s.
were done in like the... I thought they were earlier than that even.
Yeah,
they're
no, you're
50s.
probably right.
I like the last one came. There was one in the 90s because I remember buying it for my boyfriend. After I apologized for telling him that Tintin was just racist bullshit, and I felt really bad.
1929 to 1976 are the years that
Yeah.
it was published.
Well, either way, I went off about Tintin once because I was really mad at my boyfriend, and I've learned not to do that later, like to lash out at a thing your partner likes because you're angry. Because that's
That's
bad thing
good
to do.
advice.
Yeah.
Lashing out at your partner in general is not nice.
Yes. Don't do.
Lash out at your pillow and then talk to your partner.
Don't have awkward dinner with partner in front of friend where partner is being weird.
Listen, we've
Don't-
all gotten into a stupid fight with our significant other in front of our friends that we're embarrassed about and still think about to this day.
Yes. Who hasn't?
Every hour on the hour, we think about it.
Anyway, so now we have an Eggman in our party, and I like when you go to because you're trying to figure out how to get to whatever that zone's called, the zone. Oh yeah, you want to go to Metropolis Zone because that's, I guess, the way to get to Angel Island from there. And already you got this world map. We're running through zones pretty fast. There better be a dark world or there's only going to be like 7 zones in this world. Who knows? What do you think, Vanessa? Is there going to be a dark world?
I think that the map slides over further than we think. Because there are some little like edges and wedges.
What do you think, Matt?
I think it looks really fucking small.
It does look pretty small. Anyway, so when you get to, I thought it was when you get to Mystic Ruins. I went there with Eggman, and Eggman said, "Wow, this place is really different when you're not terrorizing the populace." And just everyone just responds with ...
Mhm.
He's like, what? I've changed. I like when he says unrelatable statements that no one can bond with.
Yeah. I didn't really use him as a party member. I don't know if I will. I don't even know what his travel mechanic is. Do you?
I haven't seen a travel mechanic for him yet, but I'm sure he's got to have one, right?
He must do something. Yeah, they all do something.
He has a co-op move with Tails that is impossible to pull off because it's a Tails move. So I haven't seen it yet, and I thought, oh, well, maybe once I equip... You have to equip the auto-do on Robotnik, I think, for it to work. I do like those team-up moves. I think that's a good plan. So so now the point is that you get to, I forgot what this one's called, like Icy Cave Zone, like Snow Field Zone. What do you think it's called, Vanessa? Christmas Town?
No, I think it's called the Blizz, which like the Blizzard, but the Blizz.
Like the Wiz?
Yep.
Matt, what's this zone called?
Freeze on down the road. Freeze on down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you carry nothing that might...
Is this Captain EO?
No, that was the Wiz.
It's the Wiz.
I know. I was just being silly because they both have Michael Jackson.
Oh, I see the connection.
Mm-hmm. Matt, what's Snow Zone called?
I don't think it's a snow zone. It's not that snowy.
There's quite a bit of snow in there.
I don't think there's that much snow. There's a
there's
river
like a
that's
whole-
not
really
frozen.
Not.
It's like snowing in it. What are you talking
I
about?
would never have described it as a snow zone.
Huh. Let me look at what the zone's called. Dark.
We're on chapter 4, right? A
Yeah.
wolf in the
Yeah.
shadows.
There
Yeah.
was a little snow in like the higher places.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
I
all
would call
snowy,
this a
was
snow
it?
zone. Blue Ridge Zone.
Yeah, there's a little snow up on the ridge, but I wouldn't call that a snow zone.
Oh,
Would you call where you live a snow zone? You can see snowy mountains
like
from
it's
where you
pretty
are.
snowy. I would call
Is
this a
it?
snowy zone. Yeah, like all those structures are built of snow. Oh, I didn't notice there was a Knuckles thing over there. I'm looking at a map of it now.
Mm.
Oh, that's neat. Someone made like a whole picture of the original painting. That is the zone.
Cute.
Yeah, let me copy it. I think it's just the original art from the game, but in like better quality. I will put it into the notes. There you go.
Let's have a look at this place. I see some green grass.
Yeah, but look at the trees. The trees have snow on them.
But there's no like icy spots. This is not a snow zone.
There's a sign that says
No.
"Welcome to the Klondike." So I don't know. The Klondike's cold. It's part of the Yukon.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. But like the grass is all green. In some places there are snows on the tree. But look down south at the bottom of the map. There's no snow on those trees.
Are you saying this
All right,
is
so
like
anyway,
Canada?
There's
It's
a
like
new
Canada.
shop here in this zone, and I have a question. Do
Yeah.
any of you have enough money to buy anything?
I had
No.
12.
Because I collect all the rings.
I had 12 coins, and then I lost it because
Rings.
12 rings because you get into a fight with Shadow here, and I died in the one-on-one part because he did like a super good attack against me. I had to
Yeah.
redo
Yeah,
I
that.
that
barely
happened to me
survived this
too.
one. I
And-
survived, but barely.
And it makes you give them money to continue, which is like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is harder than Persona, and it's a little game for babies.
Mm-hmm. Why is this baby game so hard?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know where you're supposed to get all this extra money. Like, it's not like you get money from fights.
Yeah, but
You-
it's early days, so
You
maybe
only get money
later
from
in the
collecting
game.
rings. Yeah, I guess.
So there's a few quests you can do around here, and
My favorite was Timmy. Can we
yeah,
talk
did
about
you find
Timmy?
Timmy who
Yes.
fell down the well?
An old man at his shack is screaming and terrified because his son Timmy has fallen down a well. And then when you go to the well, which is pretty close, you go to the well and you go into the well and there's a grown man in there doing like scientific research. And he's like, my name is Timothy. And my father has Alzheimer's, and this is a big joke to us. My father has dementia. Isn't that funny? Stick me in your pocket and take me home.
Wow.
So I can be mean to him because he forgot my age with his goddamn mental disability. This horrible disease.
All right, Matt. Yeah, so we do that, and then there's a path right away. If you look at the top northeast corner, there's a river, probably the Yukon River. What's the river through the Klondike? Anyways, that river, and you can follow that all the way to Metropolis Zone, but when you get there, something happens. Oh, but before that, you fight Shadow. Shadow's like, hey, I'm here, and I'm going to stop you because I'm the cool dark one and won't explain what I do. And then he makes you fight him, and then he's like...
I think it's kind of the other way around. Shadow's like, fuck you, I don't want to hang out with you. And Sonic's like, I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Until Shadow takes a swing at him.
So you got to fight Shadow twice.
Yeah, you have to fight him twice. You have to fight him with the party, and then you have to chase him, and then you have to fight him again one-on-one. And I was half dead, and thankfully my first round did enough damage to beat him.
Yeah.
He doesn't start with full health the second time.
Yeah, he's just got like 80 points of thingy health. So you do thingy health attack on Shadow, and he's like, okay, so here's the deal. My robot friend, Omega 132, or whatever his name is.
My best robot friend.
He has been abducted by these jerks, I guess. Is that what happened? He wants to find his robot friend.
Well, he doesn't know if he's alive or dead, but the last place that the robot signal, that he got the signal from was where we're going. So he agrees to team up with us.
So we got Shadow on our team. He's got guns. We're going to destroy everybody.
He doesn't use guns, though, right?
No, I don't think he does, which seems weird. Like he's got like a chaos spear. That's actually a pretty good attack.
It is good. Both he and Knuckles have what are called piercing attacks that'll pierce armor. Mm-hmm. So those are really handy to use again when you're doing one damage, but it kind of pointless to keep them both in your party. And Shadow doesn't have a special like movement thing. He just does what Sonic does. He go fast. So I don't know why you would ever keep him in your party.
Because they have a triple move with all of them.
Oh, that's fun.
Cool.
Triple move. Do. That's what it sounds like when you do the triple move. So it's a Sonic.
One thing about this
Shadow's
area
an
is that
edgelord.
Yep, Shadow's an edgelord. One thing about this area, Shadow is like Sonic if he was written by Garth Ennis. It's not good. One thing about this area that I found particularly frustrating is that there is nowhere to change your party that I could find. So I had to fly back to Central City about 15 times to swap my party members out.
Yes, me too.
Like, oops, I don't have Tails in my party because I can't pull off his moves, so what's the fucking point? Oh, wait, I need a flyer. Oops, I don't have Knuckles in my party because I have Shadow now, and they do the same thing. Oh, I need the guy that can climb. I gotta go back.
Yeah,
to
that's my
city.
party right now is Sonic. Oh, I guess I need Knuckles because right now I just have Sonic, Shadow, Robotnik, and Tails.
I do like Shadow. He hits very hard.
Yeah. And I gave him the like rare damage increasing one. Although I feel like getting the elemental is better than the damage increase one because it does like a different type of damage. Although sometimes it will not do much damage at all if they're resistant.
think that from what I've read, I think we're going to start running into guys that are weak to certain elements later. And so these elemental damages are going to come in handy. But for right now, I also have the rare moderately increased damage Chow equipped to Sonic and he does do more damage than Knuckles or Shadow on average with his basic attack. So
now with Shadow in tow, we rescue Timmy from the well.
But I also now have fire damage, earth damage, ice damage, electric damage, Chow's. So that's fun.
I have to go back and there's like a little factory in the middle of the map I didn't do. There's a quest about that. But the quests here like take 1 minute. They're so short.
No, it's you just go from one spot to another and then something happens. You go to the factory and he's like, the guy said don't do the thing. And they're like, cool, quest completed.
Yeah, I
That's
assumed we'd have
fucking
to
it.
go into the factory and flip switches and things. No.
Huh.
I will say
Nothing
though,
like that.
these areas, what are we in now? You guys said Blue Ridge Zone.
Yeah.
These areas are very small. They're tiny. Comparatively to like every other game I've ever played.
Well, it's
And I
kind of
do
like,
like
it
them.
reminds me of Baldur's Gate, like the same kind of painted maps.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I actually like it. And I like how, like in Baldur's Gate, there's a lot to them, even if they're small. Like there's little nooks and
I
crannies
do
and
like
stuff.
them. And yeah, there's always like a ton of secrets and quests and stuff to find and eggs to find, which I don't know if I care about the eggs anymore now that I've got the one egg that I really wanted. But
But couldn't you get another one?
don't
Imagine
know.
having two.
I don't think you
I don't know if
can.
you
It
can
says
get to.
unique, right? So I'd
Yeah.
assume a unique one is only one.
oh, I didn't realize that. That's interesting. But I do like them, and even though it's like painfully slow, they all have like little areas for Sonic to like go through loop-de-loops and go up big ramps to do big jumps. It doesn't like look amazing, but it's still kind of fun to do. You know what I mean?
I think this would be, if they did this, another one like this, but gave you direct control over Sonic and doing all the loops and stuff, I think it'd be really fun. Like, I don't think the
Yeah,
overall
I agree.
idea, it's like 3D Blast a bit, but instead of like tiles, it's a painting that you're walking around on. I don't think that's
Yeah.
bad. I like the look of it.
This game has a lot of problems, but I actually am enjoying. I'm still enjoying it. Other than never being able to pull off Tails moves, which I have finally solved.
Yeah.
I actually am really enjoying. And it's really dumb. This game is dumb as fuck, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah,
I
it's a
used
kid's
Eggman in my party for a little while, and he is garbage. He is
Yeah.
trash.
He's
I don't
alright.
know why you would ever use him.
I just wanted to see what he was like as a party member, but I think I'm probably gonna get him out of my party soon. So we go up to the northeast corner on the way to Metropolis Zone, and then someone's like, "Wait, something's wrong." And then the robots appear, but are they robots? Or are they ninja echidnas? And a lady ninja echidna? Her name is Shade. She looks super cool. She's like, what if Knuckles but a lady ninja? Like a Jinx from G.I. Joe, the best lady ninja?
But
Knuckles
is the last echidna.
Only echidna.
No, is this canon? Is this whole
No,
thing?
it's not, because
Oh.
Sega got sued over this.
Oh, wow.
What?
Because a Sonic Adventures comic book that was published for a while here in the States also had a Shadow Echidna tribe, and they sued over this game. They sued Sega over this game
Oh,
because they
okay.
said they were ripping off their comic books.
Huh. Well, I guess that's why we haven't seen any more of this.
No,
Yeah.
Huh.
Did they settle it?
I have no idea.
So
Nope, the lawsuit is still
Knuckles-
ongoing, and we'll see what happens.
Knuckles
Keep up
is like,
here on
"What?"
Sonic Law Watch.
It
Sonic.
can't still be ongoing. That's
No,
insane.
it definitely is.
Wow.
And Vanessa, actually, law stuff can take a long time. I don't know if you know that.
Oh.
Yeah, we know you don't know a lot about it, but
Mm-mm.
So, you get into a fight with. First, Knuckles is like, "What? That's impossible. The Shadow Tribe has been vanquished for generations." And she's like, "That's what you think, and yet I'm here." And then you fight, because of course you do. It's like a Marvel movie, and you fight and fight. And honestly, this fight was really easy. I don't know why the fight's so easy.
yeah, no, it. What the fuck? My mouse is being all dumb again. Stop being
Speaking of
dumb.
mouse, everyone really proud of me for catching a mouse. Caught it.
Yeah, it looked cute.
This is the second
though.
time
I know
you've done
it's
it.
Vermin, but it's so cute.
Well, it's not exactly vermin because it is a outdoor mouse. Like, it's not
Yeah,
a house pest. It just
come
got
in because
in.
it's cold.
It just came in because cold. So now it out again, living in a tree far away from my house.
It's so warm. Like, I went outside today and it was warm. That's
Here
weird.
too. Yeah.
That's messed up. Anyway, so you fight Lady, you defeat Lady, and she's like, "Ha, well, you're not going anywhere, friends." And one thing I like too, she's not horny. not horny
Yeah.
at all.
Well, she might be, but she's not expressing it outwardly.
We don't know if she's horny yet.
Well, but she's not Rouge the Batting. She's not like, oh, Knuckles. Oh, Knuckles. Oh, you'll never defeat me. Oh, orgasm sounds.
Yeah, I'm assuming that she saw Knuckles and immediately got a Lady Echidna boner and was like, oh my god, I could make more Echidna.
It's called clitoral swelling, Vanessa.
Don't let him say things like that, Matt.
I don't know if it's called that.
Yeah, come on.
I'll stop. Anyway, so she knocks some boulders in the path, which there's no way. Look, there's boulders there. There's no way we can get through boulders. We are like a super powerful team of superheroes, but boulders.
We have a guy who is super strong and can like punch anything out of his way, but nope,
Someone
these
who
boulders are
can
too
fly, a different person who can fly.
You can talk to, maybe this is later, but I'll talk about it now because who cares? It's still part of this chapter. You do get a chance to talk to Knuckles about this a bit, and he does explain that like he had heard of this Nocturnus clan of echidnas that had like ruled the echidnas at one point and then vanished after like inter-clan fighting or something. So he's torn. Now he's torn. He's like, well, what if they just want to come back from wherever they were banished to or whatever? Like, that's not so wrong, is it? So I think that this is kind of some interesting stuff that's going on here, finally, in this game.
I agree.
I feel like every time I talk, you guys are like, what's going on my phone? Matt's talking. Who gives a shit about what Matt has to say?
I was listening. I was just going to paste the Angel Island zone thing
you
into
sent
the
me
map.
this whole legal thing
Oh, wait,
that I
that's
was
the wrong
reading,
one.
which doesn't actually say that the litigation is still pending, so.
I'm just saying, it's reminding me a lot of last week when I was leveling up or doing hot gaming news, and then I just didn't speak for a few minutes, and nobody seemed to notice or talk at all for quite some time, and it's starting to hurt my feelings.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. I was just trying to get a map of the Mystic Ruins zone, but I got the wrong one.
But we haven't even played the Mystic Ruins zone.
Yes, we have. That's
What?
That's the third zone with all the gas.
Oh, okay. But we're not even talking about that.
I just thought I wanted to see the rest of the zones. I like looking at the paintings. I thought they were cool. Never mind. Anyway, so
Shade.
So Shade ran away, but Robotnik was like, look, I have so many ways to Metropolis Zone.
But first she looks at Knuckles and she does the like lollipop thing.
No, like Knuckles is like, oh my god, I thought
good girl.
I
I didn't think I'd ever be able to mate because in this world you can only mate with your own species.
And then she's like, actually, like your clan sucks. You were a crappy guardian. I'm the guardian now.
Yeah,
Fuck
she does
you.
do the eye thing, the point at her eyes and then point at his eyes, and she's like, I'm the guardian now.
And then you go to you see a glacier melt after Robotnik's like, I remember there's definitely a place over there, and the glacier melts and because this is a snow zone.
Doesn't Eggman like blow it up or something? Am I wrong?
Well, I think it just melts with the power of his memory.
Yeah.
I did appreciate that the game physically like walks you over here, so you're over there. You don't have to actually go after this cutscene.
This is the end.
Yeah,
of the
because
chunker.
well, walking through this I'll say this because you're about to end it. Walking through this, I appreciate it as well because this area introduces big, chunky, square refrigerator robots.
I hate them.
Yep, they do. They turn into a fucking refrigerator. They armor up. And you can only do 1 damage to them for like 2 hours, it seems like. An hour at least. Where you just have to kind of hang out and not do much.
Does the armor piercing work even when they're...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it only does like 15 or 20 damage, and they have like 200 hit points. The good thing is that they do an attack that... They do that... Jim talked last week about how he struggles with it, but I find it very easy. The timed
those
tap...
are fun.
Yeah.
You just have to get
Yep.
the timing right, because sometimes you'll tap a little too early and it's like no.
Yep. But
you
you don't even have to hit them all. Can I also point out now that I'm thinking about it, I know I already talked about Tails and Cream and how goddamn annoying it is that I can't ever pull off their things. But can I also point out that unlike every other character, when you fuck up Sonic's attacks, his special things, you still get a little damage. Okay? When you fuck up Tails' thing, you get no healing at all. You just fail.
Nothing.
And the worst part about it is that it seems to me that both Tails and Cream have the longest animations for their special attacks. And if you just fuck it up instantly, like I do every time, the prompt goes away, and then you just have to sit there for like 20 full seconds, that's not an exaggeration, and watch them do the move that you know is going to fail.
Matt's really mad right now, listeners.
No, it is irritating. I am with Matt on this.
It's so fucking irritating. It's wild.
Oh, I didn't even notice that little area below Timothy's dad's cabin. I'm just looking at the map again.
Stop looking at the map, Johnny. You can look at the map in your own time.
You're right.
It's funny because these areas are pretty small, and it's weird to me that you didn't explore every inch of this map because it would have taken you about 10 minutes.
It was like 2:30, and we were recording at 3:30. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need to go to the dentist? John's like, I'm gonna fucking ignore everything you say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna destroy you.
So we get over to this area. I assumed there's a big door and a puzzle. I assumed that we would have to fight something behind this puzzle, which is why I spent all this time at this point unlocking Tails' special chow. But we don't have to fight anything. We just have to open the door.
I didn't have time,
Same.
but then I tried one more time after this before going into the next zone, and I got it. I got Tails' special chow, but I'm gonna also put it on Cream if Tails is not in the party, because you don't want the support things to fail, because they're important.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to warn you guys, minor spoiler, it is going to split the party pretty soon.
Ooh.
No, what? No.
Vanessa loves a split party.
I don't want to do that.
Well, you should still be able to go in, hopefully, and just equip the good chows to your current party, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, I did the same thing, Vanessa. This is where I tried my little trick. I got literally to this door and I was like, there's going to be a big boss behind here and I'm going to try this first just in case it's hard like the chapter 3 boss. I'm going to give it a go. And then I walked through the door and it was like, cool, chapter over. Good job.
I'm paying attention to that.
You guys are going to be mean to me now. I tried to share my feelings and you're mean. I don't know what to say.
I haven't done anything.
You're right. It's all Johnny. Anyway,
so there's a door.
I guess we'll talk about the puzzle in Puzzle Corner, but
yeah, so that's it. Let's go to who wants to do
Puzzle Corner.
Who wants to do Puzzle Corner?
I do. This was the first like puzzle. I felt like everything else has just been like hitting random buttons, but this one shows you it's sort of the equivalent of like a tanagram image, and you have to match like 2 buttons that will form that image if combined.
It's 2, 3, and then 4. It's
yeah,
the first
like
one. You have to do it 3
yeah.
times. It's 2 buttons, and then 3 buttons, and then 4 buttons.
Yeah, it's a grid like a chessboard, and some of the squares are filled in, and some aren't. And then you have buttons with different patterns, and you have to stand on those to match the pattern that's shown on the chessboard.
Kind of like
I enjoyed
kind
it.
of Tetris-y.
Kind of Tetris-y. I enjoyed it. I got to think about it. I got to use my visual reasoning, and I thought it was good. It was good to put it in the game. It was good that it was there, and it was a nice way to end the chapter. I think every fighty game should end the chapter with a little brain teaser, just to
That's
refresh
why
you.
the Zelda games are so good, Vanessa, because all the bosses are really just puzzles.
No, but those are timing puzzles, and I hate timing puzzles.
Reminds me of the lockpicking from Starfield a bit. It's kind of the similar idea.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
remember the lockpicking from
You had to
Starfield.
twist
I
the
kind
little
of fell
things.
off that game hard.
And it had like different
sucked.
holes that you had to match up to, like the pick thing.
My one complaint about this is that it does make you you have to go up to the door first and try the door and to get the first thing to
Yeah,
pop up.
that took me a little
And I didn't
bit.
realize that. Yeah, so I did spend like 5 minutes like going to different buttons and being like, what am I doing? What's happening?
So that was the punnel corner. Yeah, the punnels. We love punnels.
Mm-hmm.
If you knock the Zeds over, it becomes a punnel corner. Now, next time on Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, we finish chapters 5 and 6. We're going to be over the hump, over halfway through this game. Matt, do you have a question?
Do you feel like maybe these chunkers are a little short and that we should do like
I
3
think they're
chapters?
wonderful and perfect.
Okay.
I think they're short. However, I don't want to play more Sonic than
Okay.
we're already playing each week.
I didn't have a problem with it until we had to push from Thursday to Saturday, and then I was seriously thinking about being like, guys, maybe we should play chapter 5. But Johnny wasn't caught up, so I'm glad I didn't suggest that.
We'll do like I think we should do a Persona or something this year. Something that is going to be meaty like that, where we do have to do some beefy chunkers. But I don't know.
We just did that. We did it with
Beefy
Sea of Stars. It was so
chunkers.
fucking long.
Well, that's nowhere near as long as like a Persona or like a Dragon or something.
Like a dragon.
I don't want to play it like a dragon.
Oh,
I
but it's
don't like those
turn-based.
games.
It's fun.
But I don't like them. I don't like Japan, and I don't like very Japanese
What?
things.
Wow.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, I don't like Japan. That place
First
seems
of all,
to
this is a
suck.
crazy thing to say because you love the Persona games. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
love the Persona games, but unlike Like a Dragon, Persona doesn't make me go fucking collect disposable panties from vending machines and shit. I don't want to do
I
it.
don't think Yakuza
Don't wanna
has
do
panties in a vending machine.
It definitely does.
Yeah, but in Persona 5, you can sleep with your teacher who
That's
dresses
true.
as
What's
a
wrong with
maid.
that?
I guess that's a good point.
Well,
I hadn't
was
thought
it
about
the
that way.
Yakuza game we played that had the fighting game with the girls in insect costumes? Was that in Zero or was that in Kiwami?
I didn't play Kiwami, and I don't think we did Zero on the show.
But Vanessa played a bit of Zero.
I think it must have been Zero, yeah. Yeah. I want to open a host club here in the United States. I think it would solve a lot of problems. I mean, like a hostess club.
Yeah, like
no,
a
the
prostitution ring.
The host
wanna
club is
open-
the one with like the hot guys.
The hot guys, and the other one is... But you know, it's like everyone's like, I don't know how to talk to women these days. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What if there was like a safe space where you could go and have a conversation with
That's
a
a
woman?
great point, and Japan famously has no weird incels. Wait.
Yeah,
Whoops.
I guess it's true. And also, I was watching a documentary fairly recently about some hostess club thing, and they were like, do you sleep with your customers? And she's like, well, if we get along, then we'll go on a date and have sex. And it's like, okay, got it. Wink, wink, nudge,
just
nudge.
prostitution.
They
It's like
know.
it's just escorts.
Customers.
Yeah,
Wink.
it's just escorts, something that's perfectly legal here in the United States and is the exact same thing. Anywho, let's stop discussing that.
it. I shouldn't have to do anything. They should just come to me.
Anyway,
me for me.
Let's talk about what we're squarely against. And Vanessa seems real worked up, so let's ask her first, shall we?
I
Squarely
guess
against hostess clubs. What's that got to do with Sonic? Don't worry about it.
I am squarely against this new echidna. Knuckles is a really important character to me, as everyone knows.
Sexist.
I'm a huge Knuckhead, and I think that what makes him special is he's the last echidna, and now there's another echidna. I don't like it.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same about Supergirl?
Oh, like how she's not, like Clark isn't actually the last Kryptonian, and then Supergirl shows up.
Mm-hmm. Well, it kind of depends on the era, but most of the time she's his cousin. That
Yeah, but sometimes she's the shape-shifting Matrix from an alternate universe who
Yep.
takes on
Who
the
might-
form of Kara.
who might be an angel, who was
Who might be
potentially an angel.
Yeah.
what?
So
I liked that version
Supergirl
actually,
is-
except she was banging Lex Luthor, which was weird. Though he was kind of hot at the time with that red beard and long red hair.
No, she thought it was Lex Luthor Jr., who was just a clone of Lex Luthor with Lex Luthor's consciousness.
Because Lex Luthor got kryptonite poisoning from wearing a kryptonite ring for years because he was afraid that Superman was going to kill him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, that's a complicated question. But I think that when you get right down to it with Supergirl, she was 16 when they left the planet. He was a baby. Who's the real kryptonite? Obviously Supergirl. He ripped her off.
Okay, but that's the same thing in this situation, though, right?
No, it's not. We didn't know.
Shade's part of the Nocturnus clan, which was the original Echidna big boys.
Oh, wow. You're right. I guess I'm roundly for Shade. She seems cool. I like that she's not hypersexualized. I like that she has her own mission that is absent and separate of whatever Sonic has going on. I don't like how everything in this universe revolves around Sonic. Like, from what I've seen, he's one of the least special of his friends. Like, all he does is go fast. You have Tails inventing things. Mm-hmm. You have Cream being kind to Chows.
If you had a group of friends and one of them was the Flash and the rest were a smart guy and a nice girl.
You just described
which would you think is the most special?
Do you think Flash is the most special of the Justice League over Batman, a smart guy?
Or Superman?
And Wonder Woman, a nice girl?
There's no Superman in this group. There's just the Flash.
There is too. There's Eggman.
Eggman's a Lex Luthor.
Yeah, you're right. Eggman has an IQ of 300. I just saw that when I was looking up Eggman stuff today.
All right, follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you think that Shade and the Nocturnus clan are the big bads of this game? Or are we going to get a double reversal, and is Shade going to join the party?
I think it's going to be a double reversal. I don't know if she's going to join the party, but I do think that Shade is not a baddie. Mm-hmm. Just the same way that Shadow was not a baddie. Mm-hmm. Shade is probably, come to think of it, the Shadow of Knuckles, right? Like, that has to be the deal.
She's part of the Nocturnus clan, and her name is Shade. His name is Shadow.
Yeah, so probably she was made by Dr. Henry Egg, or whatever Johnny said made Knuckles.
Yep, whatever Johnny said.
Yeah, that's definitely something I said.
So that's what I'm roundly for. Johnny, what are you roundly for or squarely against?
I'm trying to think. There was some bad music this chunker. Richard Jacques is the composer for this game. He has composed... So there's a driving game, and I know Vanessa's going to open up the locker now, but there's this driving game that Richard Jacques did the music for, and it had like fake radio stations with pop songs and rap songs and country songs, and he wrote every single one, and they're insane. So... I have my brothers and I have a fondness for this guy, Richard Jacques, because he's just been kind of not great at his job for 30 years. Maybe that's a mean thing to say. I don't know. Should I cut that, Vanessa?
I wasn't listening.
Oh, never mind. I'll do a new one.
Sorry.
I'm roundly for the fun little paintings you walk around. I think it's a great idea. They stuff a lot of stuff into it. It reminds me of Baldur's Gate. I like it. What about you, Matt?
I am squarely... Was I squarely against this last week? I am squarely against Tails. Fuck you, Tails. Fuck you, was I? Dang.
But you got the thing now. Are you roundly for the Chow that makes Tails usable?
You know what? I'm roundly for myself. I'm a smart genius boy. I'm roundly for my ability to fool this game into thinking that I was pulling a different Chow 30 times in a row until it gave me what I wanted. I'm roundly for save scumming. You know? Save scum your way to get what you want.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I've always been pro save scumming. All right, well, now that that's over, how about we talk about how Matt leveled up? If Matt wants to go first.
He does. He
No,
always
he does
does.
not. Vanessa, how about we talk
Yeah.
about how Vanessa leveled up? But do it in
That's a
third
great
person.
question. Okay. Vanessa had an interest for a while in watching a film called The King of Comedy, because Vanessa heard after Joker was released that Joker was primarily a ripoff of that film. Therefore, Vanessa decided to watch The King of Comedy, and Vanessa did agree that The King of Comedy was very similar to the themes in Joker. Perhaps this is why Robert De Niro was cast in The King of Comedy, in the talk show host role, which is cast in Joker in the talk show host role, because he played the protagonist, or the Arthur Dent character, in The King of Comedy.
I have one request.
Yep.
Now can you talk about The King of Comedy as if you are Robert De Niro reminiscing about the film?
Yeah, so I made this a film with Francis, and they thought that it would be, like a comedy because it had Jerry Lewis as the talk show host. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's a Jerry Lewis movie. Francis Ford Coppola doesn't do comedy, but maybe
Frankie.
he's branching out. And and he's doing comedy. But that's not what it is. It's very dark. It's very, New York in the 70s. You have the beautiful Sandra Bernhardt as my co-star, and she's just dynamite in it, like knocks it out of the park. And so then years later, they send me the script for Joker, and I'm reading, and I'm like, oh, they're remaking The King of Comedy. But it turns out it's like a superhero movie for kids. I don't know. At this point in my career, to be honest with you, I kind of just do what comes along. I have grandchildren to take care of. I have a wonderful restaurant called Nobu. Yes, Johnny.
Okay, I'll take this answer off the air, but what do you think of, were you in that new Francis Ford Coppola movie, The Megalopolis? And also, after you respond, Vanessa can speak in whichever form she wants.
Yeah, no, I wasn't in Megalopolis, but I think it's great that Frankie is doing his passion project. Nobody wanted to fund this. He had to fund it himself. And when a lot of his movies have come out, people say, what is this? We don't understand it. Like King of Comedy, that's what happened then. People didn't understand what we were doing. But now, Joaquin Phoenix has an Oscar for playing my role, basically, in The King of Comedy. So I think in 20, 30 years, who knows? Maybe Megalopolis is on AFI's top 100 films. And that's how I leveled up.
I'm confused. Did she watch Megalopolis? Did you like that Adam Driver?
I have not watched Megalopolis. No, nor do I intend to. It sounds awful and long.
And boring.
And boring.
It looks boring.
Vanessa?
Other ways, yep.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Other ways I leveled up. I caught a deer mouse. Months ago, I had a problem with a deer mouse being in my house. I hate it, and it is my enemy.
What?
And
Cute.
I wish it would go away forever. I did find its little deer mouse hole. I sealed it up. I believe what happened is I erroneously sealed the deer mouse in after it. But happily, since I realized that it was in my house, I had once again gone to the basement, hauled up the mouse traps, laid out the mouse traps. I caught the deer mouse. It was in the middle of my kitchen floor this morning. In its trap.
Cute little face.
It has a cute little
It does
face.
look
And
really
a cute.
cute.
Little body. It's a really cute little round little fluffer.
So did you grind his bones to make your potions, or?
No, they can carry disease, but not really in the region I'm in. And there haven't been instances of that disease for a while, but it can be very, very deadly if the mouse does have it. So instead I put on my rubber gloves, I put the mousetrap in a sack, I carried the sack far away from my house. You gotta go like 2 miles away. I might have fudged it. I might have gone like a mile 0.6. I don't know. I let it go.
The mouse came back
in a wooded area.
The mouse
it ran down
back.
a hill.
She thought he was a
It
goner,
jumped on
but
some
the
branches.
mouse
It
came
climbed
back
up a
the very
tree.
next day away.
Is how do you feel about Jack and Pepper at this point?
Well, Pepper's dead.
Wait, when did Pepper die?
Pepper died last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Pepper.
That's
was
how
still
she
around.
broke her ankle, kicking Pepper to death.
Yeah.
God, Nat.
Yeah, so I feel fine about Pepper. Jack is perhaps not the
Useless.
most natural mouser. I do think that because the trap, I hadn't put it in the middle of the kitchen floor. I put it along the baseboard against which the mouse is apt to scamper. And so I think that once it went in the trap, Jack like slid the trap around. I like that Jack like saw the mouse and the mouse saw Jack and they could really like think about each other, because Mouse does not want to live in a place where Cat is. So my dream is that along with the fact that I have sealed up its entrance, will prevent it from returning. And because it is a field mouse and not a house mouse, I also live under the hope and perhaps delusion that it's not like an infestation, it's just an outdoor mouse that came in, akin to like a chipmunk or something like that. But how I feel about Jack in general, I love him. He's my precious little baby. He is fuzzy. He is cute. He do annoy me sometimes. Sometimes if I want a good night's sleep, he can't be allowed in the bedroom. I usually set my alarm for 8 a.m., but Jack believes that my time to get up is 7:30, and that is the time that he will start clawing at the door and meowing if he's not allowed in the bedroom. If he is allowed in the bedroom, he will sit on my head and meow and
I kind of wish my
bap
cat
things
liked to
on my
do
side
that kind
table.
of thing. She doesn't cuddle much.
Yeah. He will, he's not like sitting on my head, but he'll get on my pillow, like in between the pillow and the wall, and like wedge himself there. And just enjoy the heat off my head. So yeah, I wish that he were better at catching mice, sort of. I don't want him to kill the mouse, because then I would have to deal with its little mousy corpse. But I would like it if he were to chase the mouse perhaps more rigorously than he does.
Vanessa, did you think Montage reminded you of Other Thing?
I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to get in trouble.
Don't talk about that.
I'm not talking about it.
You're doing things.
What am I
He's
doing?
doing things. He did a disco dance. I saw it.
You were looking away, Matt. I was trying to do it while you were looking away.
He was looking at the screen so he could remember every precious moment of our recording session.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And that's how I leveled up. Matt, how did you level up?
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. So, I'll start with the boring thing that you guys... I'll start with the boring thing that you guys don't want to talk about, which is that I've been reading a new book. That's right. I'm book boy now. I'm reading the Dungeon...
What? Oh, sorry.
I'm reading the Dungeon Crawler Carl series of lit RPGs. That's what the genre's called. I hate it. I hate the name. I hate the concept. I don't like it. But I do like these books. They're very snarky. They are about what if the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you remember how that book started? And it was like, haha, we're aliens and we're blowing up your planet. It's that, except they're strip lining the planet. And they take all the surviving humans and throw them into a big MMO-style dungeon to see if they can survive.
Is it for their real bodies, or are they in a virtual reality?
It's the real bodies. It's a real dungeon. But it does feature things that kind of classified as a lit RPG, like because he's in kind of a real-world video game, he does do things like level up and get like loot boxes. Anyway, part of the setup is that he was outside chasing his ex-girlfriend's cat when the aliens invaded, which was an instantaneous flattening of every building on the planet. And since he was outside, he did not get flattened. And he and his cat, his ex-girlfriend's cat, got thrown into the dungeon. The cat was quickly given some sort of change pet potion or something, which made it intelligent. So Carl and his sentient cat party member, Best in Show Princess Donut, have to try and survive this weird RPG MMO dungeon. It is a comedy. That's more than anything. It's a quick, fun comedy type series. It gets a little too grim for itself, I think, at times. I wouldn't go so far as to call it like edgelordy, but it does occasionally get a little edgelordy. Like very early in the first book, he accidentally kills a boss. He doesn't accidentally kill the boss. He kills the boss by shoving a shopping cart full of bombs into a room to kill the boss because he doesn't want to fight the boss. And then when the boss dies, he's informed that the room is also full of goblin babies. So it gets a little edgy, a little edgy sometimes that I don't love. But overall, it's a pretty funny comedy about this guy trying to survive this wacko, upside down, bizarro world. And it's very entertaining. I'm on the third book now. They are very quick reads, 300 to 500-ish pages. They go very fast. I had been reading,
Like
as everybody knows, the Malazan Books of the Fallen, which I had said were very grim, and I needed a break. And switching over to this Dungeon Crawler Carl was the right call because it is goofy and fun, and I'm reading them at the pace of like one every 3 days. So,
Wow.
I am having a pretty good time with it, though. Yes, Johnny.
Have you ever read the Cinemaverse cycle?
No, I don't think I have.
You should.
Cinemaverse?
Yeah, check it out. I got the ebook version for like $5. That was all 3 books. I think if you want
Cineverse
a light,
cycle.
yeah, that's it. Try it out. See if you like it. I think you might enjoy it for light fun. The third book, not so light and fun though. That's the only problem.
I will check that out. Thank you. I do appreciate that suggestion. I have been in the mood for light and fun recently. I don't recognize the author. Anywho, otherwise, I have not been up to much. I have been working just an absolute ton. But there was something that I wanted to talk about. What was it? Oh, man. Give me a second, guys. What was it? I had another thing. This is not a bit. I really did have another thing. I got it. But I have managed to squeeze in a little bit of TV watching time, and I have watched up to current the first 6 episodes of the new Invincible season.
I haven't done it yet.
All right. I wasn't going to spoil anything, but that show continues to be really fun and just a good time. I will say this season seems to be focusing more on kind of individual stories and less on the big overarching plot of, Invincible and his dad and all that stuff, Omni-Man and what's going on with that, which I appreciate because the comic books did the same thing. That's how they set up things for later that'll pay off is by doing individual stories early on. So I've been really enjoying it. I will say, I think that they have downgraded. I think they decided to spend less money on the animation. It looks a little cheaper.
I mean, it was already pretty cheap. Like, they were using a lot of just, still images with voice over it.
Well, but part of that was a joke. That was a running joke in the comics, too. There was that scene in the second season that I'm sure you remember. There was a play on a scene from the comics where they talk about that exact thing of reusing the same panel over and over again and just putting new text over it. And reusing the same reaction shot over and over again, but just putting different voiceover on it. Anyway, but it looks a little cheaper, actually. I thought the second season they really ramped it up. They were using more 3D animation and stuff. And this season they seem to have cut it back. But overall, the story's great, and the characters are great, and that's what I'm here for. So it doesn't really matter to me. And I also did watch the first episode of Reacher.
Oh,
show for
every
boys.
straight man's favorite show.
It's fucking good, y'all. Let me say this. The first season of Reacher was really good, except for 2 things. Number 1, Alan Ritchson, who is playing Reacher, wasn't great. And number 2, COVID really fucked that season up. The last episode of the first season of Reacher is dog shit, and it really kind of retroactively ruins the whole season because the payoff is so bad. But it's entirely because they've been shut down by COVID, and when they were able to come back, they weren't allowed to be around each other. And you can tell when you watch the last episode of the first season of Reacher, nobody's in the same room. And they're doing all these action scenes and nobody's in the same room as anybody else.
Wow.
So it's a lot of hide behind a box and then peek out and shoot. And then somebody on the other side of the room who's clearly in a different room goes, "Aye!" It's bad. But the second season of Reacher, I was really excited about. And when it came back, there was a positive, which is that Alan Ritchson had gotten a lot better. And in fact, in the second season of Reacher, he was fantastic. But
interesting.
The second season of Reacher had its own problem, which is that his entire supporting cast was garbage.
Oh, no.
Terrible garbage. And the whole plot of the season was garbage. It was terrible. And so I said to myself, Season 3 of Reacher, this is your last fucking chance. And you know what? They fucking did it. They did it. It's good. They also very smart. This is kind of interesting. They very smartly played the first episode kind of against your expectations, where I would say the first 15 minutes of the show, I was hovering, where I was like, wait, is this bad again? This is bad, right? Because Reacher's doing some weird shit. And you're like, no, this can't be what's happening. I refuse. This is idiotic. What are you talking about? And then it twists, and it all makes sense, and it's awesome. So season 3 of Reacher, fantastic. Anybody out there that's been curious about that show, just watch the third season. It is not a show with a season-to-season story. It is the seasons take place in different time periods. You do not have to watch one season to the next to know what's going on. This season is its own story. You do not need to watch the other 2 seasons of Reacher to know what's going on here. And so far, it is killing it, which is so exciting because when it's good, it's really fucking good. That's how I leveled up. Johnny.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, Johnny. How are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah? Did you get enough sleep?
Yep. Yeah. I went to bed at 5:30.
Mm-hmm. How many waffles did you have for breakfast this morning? 12?
I guess that's one thing I should level up about. I got a waffle maker.
It's so cute. It's a cute little guy.
It's a little one mini waffle at a time. Not mini, they're Eggo-sized waffles, but it's just not
I think most home waffle makers are one at a time.
I thought most were like, they make the ones that Leslie Knope has in Parks and Recreation at JJ's Diner that are like this big.
Yeah.
Those
I was at a
look
Waffle
amazing.
House recently, which I think I did talk about on the show, and you know what? They use individual waffle makers there.
Huh.
How else can you make a waffle?
Well, there's larger,
You could get
because I have used a waffle maker that made a 4x4 square grid of waffles that you're supposed to like split. But if you eat that as one good waffle like Leslie Knope does in Parks and Rec, it is pretty amazing. But it is like a foot wide. It is a square foot of waffle. So I found out that making waffles is easy, and Eggo waffles are trash. A new waffle's best friend.
And how many times did you burn yourself in the learning of this thing?
0.
Isn't it that it's easy to make it, but hard to clean it?
The waffle maker's small, so maybe that's a good thing, because I can just put it under the tap with it's not plugged in. I've unplugged it. I put it under the tap and then scrub off the waffle goop. But actually, no, because I always put oil on the waffle maker itself. There's never a problem in the waffle thing. It's just sometimes it blurps over the edges if you put a little bit too much waffle goop in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the messy part, because if you let that dry, because I put my waffle maker on the oven, it'll blurp. You don't want that to dry on the oven, basically, because that's annoying to clean.
Have you experimented with buckwheat?
No, I just been using.
Yeah,
Bisquick.
you could be like Spider-Man in the 60s in his grandmother's famous buckwheat
I just use
pancakes,
Bisquick.
I thought.
And honestly, Bisquick is fantastic. It is affordable and good. You just use an egg, so that's one egg is what, $7 now?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's a little more
Still gonna
expensive.
buy them though, because I love eggs.
It's true. I do love eggs. But fortunately, I live in Canada, where we have more family-run, smaller egg places. What are egg places called?
Farms.
Hatcheries.
Hatcheries, yeah.
No, they're not trying to hatch them.
Oh, that's true.
It's true.
That's how you
Farm.
get a chicken.
I think Vanessa was right, actually.
Yeah, so we have...
And you know I'm
basically,
loath to admit that.
our chicken farms are smaller, so we don't have as much problem with bird flu. Because if you have mega farms and concentrated chickens in one large building in poor conditions, it will be bad if there's an outbreak.
I make sure to buy eggs that say that they are free-range birds, but I don't actually believe it.
There's some weird requirements about free range. It's not as they don't range as much as you would think. It's a pretty minimal amount of outdoor space that they need to have.
I bet. That's everything in the United States is they're allowed to lie to you. You know how they're allowed to lie to you about everything all the time?
Yes.
How come that's the thing? Actually, Johnny, I'm going to take over your level up for a moment and ask Vanessa, who seems to know what she's talking about. How come everybody's allowed to lie all the time? How come free speech means lie good and okay and fine?
Well, the First Amendment does allow you to lie all the time. And the solution to that is an educated populace who is able to parse the truth from lies. But we accidentally, we forgot to do the educated part.
Is that the solution, or is the solution that maybe advertisers and companies shouldn't be allowed to lie to you?
That's an interesting question. It's very difficult to do anything like that because of First Amendment protections in the United States. In Europe,
that sounds like a bad faith argument about what the First Amendment means.
Well, the First Amendment means whatever the Supreme Court says it does. So we'll see.
So, speaking of cats not catching or catching things, I was working on my edit for a video and I heard a loud crash, and then suddenly I heard my cat run away. In the middle of my living room was one slipper, Vanessa. One large pizza-shaped slipper. I don't know there's I have a couple of possibilities of what happened here. One is that Porky caught the slipper as thought it was a thing to bring to me like prey, but knocked over one of the license plates on the way in, because the slipper is very bigger than she is, and I have a couple of license plates on a bookshelf, and she knocked it all over and scared herself and ran away. I think that's what happened, because various contents of the shelf were out on the floor. Or
sounds plausible.
It could have been she was sleeping in the slipper, and then a loud noise woke her up, and she ran into the living room and knocked over, and was caught on the slipper. I don't know. It was very strange. Either way, she brought the slipper to me, or accidentally brought the slipper to me because she was sleeping in it and got startled. I'm not sure.
Does she have a history of sleeping in the slipper?
No, she's never interacted with the slipper before in her life, so it's very strange.
I think it's most likely that she grabbed it and was playing with it. She might have batted it in there rather than carried it in.
I have 15 different soft mousy toys that I hide around the apartment, and she got all of them last night while I was charging my car. So I think she's been in a full of beans mood the past couple of days.
Well, it's spring fever. Everyone's got it.
Oh, is that why Dory's been acting so fucking weird lately?
Yep. Jack's been doing it too. It's springtime. It's spring fever. All the cats get spring fever, even if they're neutered or spayed. They think there's something they ought to be doing. They don't know what it is. And so they go crazy.
She did demand to go outside this morning, but she didn't care about food. She just wanted to go outside with me.
Yeah, to find yourself a tomcat.
Oh, well, I just took her for a little walk. She didn't do anything. It was fine. She's spayed or neutered, whichever one. Anyway, so there's that. I watched show that not talk in front of Matt about, so I won't do that.
Don't do that.
And that show is good.
Show good. Show keeps getting better this season. Jim has said it on the show before about that show, and Jim was right.
And made video about 4x3 thing. That was actually quite a short and easy video to make, so that was good. I thought it was fun. Matt, did you like it? You did.
I did. I enjoyed it. It was interesting seeing the differences between the versions.
Mm-hmm. I'll see if I get a lot of good reaction or not. If not, I tried something new. It's okay.
Oh, I did. Also, even if you don't get a lot of good reactions to that specific topic, I liked your little VTube guy. I don't know that is a VTuber, by the way. I don't think that's the proper terminology for that. But your little caricature.
PNG.
I don't think it's a tube or anything. I think it's just a little caricature of yourself in the videos, and I thought it was fun and delightful. And good job to the artist. Yeah. Thumbs up. You did great.
Julio Vasquez, good job, did. I need a couple more. I realize I need a sad one when I'm sad. Mm-hmm. And a flirty one when I'm being flirty. And I want one holding a flag, either like a Canada flag or a pride flag or a bear flag.
Mm-hmm.
So that I got to commission some more poses for that. Yes, he is being paid.
Well, I thought he did an excellent job.
I did not make him work for free. All right. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, also, I talked about how I got that Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 on my PC, and it was a really good version. But then I think we talked about it in the news. No, we didn't talk about it, but it's news that they shut down their old Origin app, which is fine because I bought it in the EA app. However, it ties into the Origin store to authenticate the game before you launch it. So since between last time I talked about it and this time, now the game is unplayable because I paid money for it and didn't pirate it.
Oh, that's awful.
They're looking at fixing it. Like because I filed a tech request with EA, and they said they are trying looking for a solution to this. So that's good. Otherwise, I'd like my money back, please.
Yeah.
Don't buy stuff off of. Why I was like, well, why do people just not care and buy stuff off of Steam? Because this literally does not happen if you buy it off Steam. So yeah, that's why people like the Steam. It's relatively reliable, and you can keep the thing you bought. Anyway, that's about it. I think that's enough. Starting a new project I'm very excited about. I'll talk more about it when I can on the show, probably later this year, when it's being more like the release footage is out for trailers and such.
Gotcha.
All right, and that's it for the Square Roots podcast. We have a Patreon. Matt, why don't you tell us about Patreon? How Patreon works?
Oh, man.
New episode? Is there a new episode up on the Patreon?
We have a Patreon. You can find it at patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast, where we post where we post monthly bonus episodes. We just released our February episode about Avowed, me hearty. Avowed. Which was a good hour and a half of discussion about the newly released game Avowed from Bethesda. BioWare.
No, Obsidian.
Big the Cat's Obsidian. From Obsidian. And it's good. Last month, we did an episode about the case of the Golden Goose or something like that. I don't know.
The case of the Golden Idol.
The Golden Gremlin. We do monthly bonus episodes about a variety of topics, sometimes video games, sometimes movies or TV shows. Occasionally, we just play games, do level ups, or talk about news. Just whatever strikes us. We also have, that is patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. $3 a month. You get access to all those bonus episodes. I think that there are dozens at this point. So if you like this, go listen to those for $3. If you are extremely invested in what we are going to play on this stupid podcast, you can pay $5 a month and get access to voting. That's right. We often put up games for a vote to see what we will play. And this most recent game we're playing, Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood, did win the vote because the patrons like to troll us. I don't know what else to say about it. So go check that out. Patreon.com/SquareRootsPodcast. And as always, before we sign off for the day, we like to thank a handful of our patrons. And I'll start us off by saying thank you to Arthur A., Ari Kopavara, Ron, My Battery is Low, Wishbone is Gay. For Square Roots Podcast, I'm Stim Stanks. I'm Vanessa's mom, Jaybird, Hayden Neff, Nick, Star Healer, and Jordan Mims.
That was very Paul F. Tompkins reading of Jordan Mims.
Thanks.
I'd like to thank Ricky Barty, Butcher Pete's Sharp Salami, Brian Hassel. Notice me, Matt Senpai.
No.
Bree Girth, Seth G, Ryan Schmidt, J-Bone, Fei Fong Dong, Hexagon John Scala, and Angel.
And I would like to thank Daniel Wood, friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole, Jake Dickerson, Anthony Lerma, David Green, Aaron Vanessa versus the Empire Brain Building Little, Gigantified Micro Space Hamster, Andy M., Eric Garby, Ryan, and Chris Sasaki.
Send us an email. You can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you would rather, you can find us on Facebook at the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. You can be-skeet us at squarerootspod.bsky.social, and you can find links to our Discord at both of those locations, or email us, or text Johnny. You probably have his number.
Yep.
So
about 1/3 of our listeners do.
Yeah, the Discord's very active these days, so I do suggest if you are sick and fucking tired of Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitter, whatever else, we are too, and you can chat with us over at the Discord.
Mm-hmm. Please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Ghana, or wherever, whatever you listen to it on. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. Thanks to Matthew Van Zandt for his wonderful PS3 4x3 theme.
Thank
and
you.
You can find Steven on YouTube, links in the show notes. For Square Roots, I've been Johnny Brandon.
I've been Matthew Van Zandt, and we are joined, luckily for us this week, by our special guest. I'm Vanessa.
It's you, Vanessa.
Well, yeah, but I thought you were going to say my name. I don't have to announce myself. I'm a special
Sometimes,
guest. I don't have to do
I hear
that
a lot of
kind
podcasts
thing.
where like, and who else is with us today?
I'm Vanessa. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Ask me again.
Who else is with us today?
It's me, Bobby De Niro.
Hey, Frankie.
And obviously, oh, Chip!
Bye.